Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel, and today is story time. Really excited. Today I'm going to share the birth story. Like I had mentioned, we did a home birth and it was crazy, like super crazy, right? Just really excited. So here's what happened. Boom. It's November 16th, about 3 a.m. right? 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get this feeling, pop feeling, right? Crazy pop feeling. And I was asleep, but I heard it go pop, right? So I jump out of my sleep and I'm like, what in the world is that, right? What just happened? Was I dreaming? Like, what was that pop? So I got up and I went to the bathroom and I peed, you know, whatever. Everything was cool. And then I had got this contraction. But mind you, we're 38 weeks, right, at this time. So I'm like, okay, contractions are good, you know. My husband and I had previously had intercourse. The night before. And it's not uncommon to experience some contractions after intercourse. So I thought it was all good, but I was dead wrong. So they started coming, right? Left to right, contraction. And I was like, oh my God, what if this is it? But I didn't want to call because remember the last time I called, it wasn't it. And everybody came to my house and there was no baby. So I decided to wait it out just a little bit. But they wouldn't stop. Like, the contractions would not stop. And they just kept coming. They were lasting longer. And I was just like, holy crap, this is probably it. So I go into my bedroom, right? Pull myself up off the floor. I go into my bedroom. And I'm like hitting on my husband. Hey, wake up. This is it. You know, we have to call the midwife. While I'm trying to wake him up, mind you, he's not budging because he's a guy and they don't get it. He's not budging. The contractions keep coming. So I'm like, right? Can't like move like at all. So a contraction stops and I'm like, get up. Come on, it's time. So he kind of gets up and he's like out of it. Cause mind you, now it's like 3:30 in the morning. So he like drags himself out of bed or whatever. I get a contraction. So I'm like, oh my God, press on my back, right? So that we can do like some counter pressure techniques or whatever. Press on my back, you know, to alleviate some of the pain. First of all, he's half asleep. He has no idea what I'm talking about. I'm not even all the way for sure that he, at this point, realized that we were in labor. Because, you know, we didn't have the false alarm. He's like slow walking. He's like not pushing my back hard enough. And I'm getting pissed because the contractions hurt. It ends and I grab my phone and I call midwife Annie, who was on call that night. Shout out to Birth Care Women's Health in Alexandria. They're amazing. And Annie calls my birth assistant. Shout out to midwife Ebony, who is a birth assistant under contract with Birth Care. She's awesome. If you ever need a midwife or a birth assistant, I recommend both midwife Ebony and Birth Care Women's Health. But anyway, so I get on the phone and then Annie's like, okay, are you sure? You know, how far are the contractions? How intense are they? And I'm like, Annie, I'm on the floor. So Annie was like, okay, I'm coming. So mind you, Annie lives in Tacoma Park, which is like 35 minutes away from here on a good day. So hang up the phone with Annie and I say, I gotta use the bathroom. So I had to do number 2. So I go in the bathroom and I start doing number 2. Guess what happened? I felt my son's head descend, drop down, like coming out. I lose it at this point, right? Completely losing it. Oh my God, big man, he's coming, right? Tripping. So apparently that woke up Melanie, because Melanie came running downstairs. What's happening? What's going on? We're like, the baby's coming, right? So we get back on the phone, we call back Annie, and I'm like, Annie, he's coming out right now, all right? And Annie's like, okay, well, it looks like you guys are gonna have to do this on your own. On our own? What? Annie, you tripping. Annie was not tripping. At that point, we just had to get it together. Like, there was no turning back. He was coming out. He ain't care. And it was like, now or never. So, I tell big man, his head's coming out. So he starts freaking out, right? He claims that he was in the bathroom peeing at this time, but I suspect he was in the bathroom crying. I mean, at this point, like, what do you do? Right? Like, your kid's coming, the midwife's not here, the birth assistant isn't here, and all you have is your screening wife, your 8-year-old, and your 2 toddler sons, right? So what are you gonna do? So yeah, obviously, he was in the bathroom crying. But he would never admit that. So anyway, get off the toilet, and I go into our sitting area. Mind you, we had the pool, we had the kit, blankets, plastic everywhere. We had intended on this glamorous home birth, right? In the tub, you know. We didn't even get there. Like, we had no time to fill the tub. Well, we probably would have had time had I actually knew I was in labor when I thought I was in labor, but I thought it might have been another false alarm. I didn't want anybody to get out of their bed at 4 o'clock in the morning if it wasn't really happening, right? But it was really happening, and I wish I would have listened to myself. So anyway, so I go in the sitting room, right? And I get on all fours because that felt the most natural to me, right? Mind you, the contractions are still coming. So I'm screaming at this point. Annie! Annie's on the phone, right? Annie! His head's coming out! His head! I feel his head! Annie's like trying to calm me down, but it's not really working. But the contractions had stopped, right? For about 60 seconds. And it was just long enough for me to tell Melanie to grab my phone. Melanie, come grab my phone. The photographer's not going to get here in time. I need you to record this. So she's like, cool, bet. Get my phone. I take Melanie's phone and I call Annie from Melanie's phone. So Melanie's recording at this point. So I'm like, Annie, I can feel his head. I can feel his head. Feel his head. And big man is still in the bathroom crying. Big man! Big man! He's not even out here, right? I'm like, oh my God. What is he doing in the bathroom? Why isn't he out here? This is crazy. I'm about to deliver this baby and my husband is in the bathroom, probably boohoo crying. Right? But I get it, because he's scared. You know, who wouldn't be? You know, you don't really plan to deliver your own child. Melanie's recording now, and I said, Annie, feel his head. And Annie says, okay, where is Brandon? Brandon finally comes out, and you can just see it all over his face that he is like not here at all, freaking out. I'm still on all fours, by the way. He gets behind me, and midwife Annie is still on the phone. Takes the phone, and he's like, Annie, what do I do? Annie's like, okay. She's like explaining to him what the baby's going to do. He's going to turn and find his way out. Melanie, you're just in time. Come here. Yay! This is Melanie.
Hi.
I I am telling everyone how we delivered our own baby.
Yes.
And how you were there.
Yes.
And you filmed the whole thing. So he gets on the phone with Annie and he's like, Annie, what do I do? Remember when he was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
He's like, Annie, what do I do? But mind you, he's holding back tears because he's freaked out and he's scared. And he's like, okay, well, is the baby like face down? How's he positioned? Blah, 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 blah. I don't really know what she's saying because I'm freaking out, screaming, like, because the contractions are hurting like crap at this point. So he's like, uh-oh. And I'm like, uh-oh, what? So then if this contraction and his head comes out. Ah, ah.
Yeah, and I'm
screaming.
Just sitting there recording.
So screaming, ah, his head's coming out. So his head come out, but his body didn't come out yet. So Annie is still on the phone with Brandon. Annie doesn't realize that his head came out. So Annie's like, okay, so his head's gonna come out. And he's like, his head's already out. So then I get another contraction. And then he says, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Why do you say uh-oh?
Why do you say uh-oh?
You're making us panic even more.
Definitely making us panic. So he says uh-oh again. So I'm like, uh-oh. Get a contraction. Ah! Body slips out. When his body came out, all of the pain went away. Like, it was just like joyous moment. Like how, like that moment where everything is perfect. His body came out. There was no more pain. He was crying. He had poop on him.
So if you're eating, we're so sorry for disrupting your
sorry. So he came out and it was just like this glorious moment where I swear like freaking butterflies and doves and all things happy happened at that point in time. Right, Melanie?
Yes.
So he came out, big man caught him, and he was crying.
And me just sitting there looking at him, I was panicking in my head. I was like, what's happening?
First of all, you were so not panicking. You were so chill.
I said it in my head. Let me tell you how I heard my mom. So like, if I hear a sneeze or anything, like cough, say ow, I go stumping up the steps. I race up the steps. So I was like sleeping like this, in my dream, all wild. And then I heard this yell. I'm like, what was that? Like 3 something in the morning. And then I heard her. Then I heard it again. I'm like, some of this. Mommy's in trouble. I grab my phone. I put the flashlight on. I slam my door closed. I be stomping down the steps. I jumped over the big staircase. I slammed my...
You did what?
And then I went in the room. I went in the bathroom. Mommy's in pain. I'm like, oh my God. But Mommy, what's happening? What's wrong? Are you okay? And then I just see her yelling. Open the door. I was crying though.
Why were you crying?
It was a miracle.
You're so sweet. Yes, it was definitely a miracle. Where's my brush?
Mommy gave birth to 4 kids.
Yes.
And Mommy said that she wasn't going to have any more kids after Quincy. You have guessed wrong, Mommy.
Oh, yeah.
What happens if it happens again?
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And Liquid Luxury.
Girl. So, no.
Oh, and make sure you shop at my mom's and mine store. And if you have a daughter, buy some sunglasses.
So, the baby came out and like 20 minutes after he was born at 4:20 a.m. 20 minutes after he was born, everybody came storming in the house.
Like, Grandma's like, Grandma's like, Mariah, what's wrong? Why didn't you call me earlier? What? I wanted to see the baby be born. It was crazy. And then Chrissy's yelling at me because I didn't tell her that Mommy thinks that the baby's coming.
She thought she had time. There was no time.
They came 30 minutes.
They were late.
But here's the thing. Grandma lives like 10 minutes away. She probably took a 3-hour shower. She probably tried to look pretty. She tried to get dressed pretty.
She definitely tried to look pretty.
She did. She had this pink dress.
I thought it was blue. Is it pink?
Yes. She had a pink mask. It was a hot pink mask.
Are you sure? Anyway, so they were all late. Unfortunately.
And then the boys woke up.
Oh God, the boys woke up.
Quincy, he was not having it. Because Quincy kept just looking at Jalen funny. She was just, when Jalen was in your arms, he was just looking at you.
That's what happened. That's our little birth story. Baby Jalen came out weighing 8 pounds, 0 ounces. He was 21 inches long. And he was born November 16th.
4:20 in the morning.
He was perfect. He was perfect. The night was perfect. There won't be a next time.
But here's the thing. None of us look like mommy.
Why don't any of my kids look like me?
They don't have the eyebrows. They don't have the nose. They don't have the...
So they don't have anything of mine. Is what you're saying.
No, they have the confidence. So let me tell you how many kids my mommy has. First, starting with the oldest.
She broke it.
Me, Roman, Nasir, Quincy, Jalen.
We are almost done with story time. Baby Jalen was born, delivered by his mommy and his daddy, and witnessed by his big sister Melanie.
An only sister.
Yes, his only sister.
When you said that you were having a baby, I always thought that it would be twins. You were delivering this year because you said I was about to have a baby. What? I was in kindergarten.
You were tripping.